Hello, my name is Gary Maloney here for Sacktown Slam. Now, before I get to Smackdown, because there's a lot to cover there that happened tonight, and I do mean a lot. I want to go over a couple of things, just a few things. Number one, I did say yesterday that I would bring you any news about Big Cass if it was a real injury or KFAB after what happened last night. Apparently, it was a real injury, and rumors online, are saying that it could be an ACL injury. And if it's an ACL injury, 6 to 9 months, boom, gone for Big Cass. I think what's worse about this was WWE most likely had no intentions of giving Enzo a win over Big Cass at all. I think this was essentially what can I say? Another punishment to Big Cass. Or to Big Cass, excuse me. Well, it was a punishment to Big Cass considering you sat there and put him against Enzo again. But, yeah, Enzo now, at this point, without Big Cass to beat up on you, Enzo has just lost all relevancy. And now there's no chance to even put them back together in a tag team. But that's the funny part. WWE only has themselves to blame for this. Because if you'd have never split them apart in the first place, this never would have happened. And because Vince McMahon likes big, sweaty men, he doesn't like guys with shit emojis on their pants. Apparently, this is what you get, big shit emoji when you push guys that aren't ready to be pushed. I mean, obviously, Big Cass is not a great wrestler for his size. It's why he belongs in a tag team, and that's why he should be in a tag team. I think that if anything, this whole angle should have just never have happened. And this stupid shark cage match should have happened on the pre-show instead of putting your Intercontinental Champion, as I said numerous times, on the pre-show. Not to mention with no one there to watch them. Or to watch him, as well as the Hardys, as well as Jason Jordan, as well as, who gives a fuck about Axel and Bo? I mean, they haven't earned that right yet, but the other 2-3 guys, they've earned it. Miz and the Hardys have earned that right to bitch, and I would have too. Because seeing how empty the camera shot of seeing how empty that place was, wow. Yeah, some people didn't like Monday night's main event. I don't think it was the most spectacular thing that I'd ever seen, but I liked it. I mean, that's my opinion. I'm sticking with it. But at the same time, I think that, and having 24 hours to think about it, I think they should have put Joe in a more prominent situation and had him choke out Cena. What I am worried here about is that you have too many wheels in motion right now. Are you going to have Joe fight Cena at No Mercy? Are you going to have The Miz fight Roman Reigns at No Mercy for the Intercontinental title? Because it was my understanding that the whole thing here was that Jason Jordan was headed towards the Intercontinental title. If you're not going to pump Jason Jordan, and you're not going to work Finn Balor, and you're not going to give it to Bray Wyatt, why the fuck are you going to even think about giving it to Roman Reigns? Now, a lot of people over the last few months have said that if Brock and Roman do fight again at WrestleMania 34, which I'm beginning to think is most likely the case, because slowly but surely Brock Lesnar is running through that list of people. And, I'm sure as soon as he defeats Braun Strowman, it's, the next guy on that list. You have Joe Strowman and Reigns, so I would assume that after No Mercy, he's probably going to be gone for a while, probably till the Rumble, which would therein mean that he will either hold the title in purgatory or fucking drop the title potentially to Braun Strowman. Obviously, we didn't see any threats of, if I lose the title, I'm going to quit WWE. I mean, technically, he can't even go into UFC for another few months. So, we'll see where that goes. Now, I made some remarks about my feelings about Nakamura versus Mahal on Sunday. And I get people tweeting me online, calling me shit like an indie mark, and saying, why do you hate Mahal? He's this great fucking, heel. He's this masterful heel, and that's his gimmick. You should like the fact that he has a good gimmick. First of all, no, he doesn't have a good gimmick. Having someone cheat for you every fucking match is not a gimmick. Okay? If I wanted to see the Punjabi World Order, I would have just rather have seen them bring... I don't think I would have even wanted to see freaking the Great Khali again. I think if I'd have done that, I'd have stopped watching Smackdown live entirely. But, yeah, this whole thing... And this really kind of blew over tonight, too. And I get the feeling that Nakamura, he will probably get the title at whatever September pay-per-view it is. I think that another thing that happened tonight, which I will get to in a moment, is probably another reason why Mahal is losing that title, because, yeah, it's pretty big. So, however, I have a song for all of you people that want to call me an indie mark, and all of you people that think Jinder Mahal is so great, and all of you people out there that thought SummerSlam was a fucking 8 out of 10 and are sitting there trying to explain to me why SummerSlam was so much better than TakeOver. I mean, I wanted to violently vomit when I read some of these comics, yeah, it's because they all sounded like people who must have been joking when they wrote this and were just trying to be trolls. But regardless, there were obviously some people out there that probably do really feel that way. So, without further ado, who wants to roll with rollers? Wish I had a guitar, but I don't have a guitar. So please keep your cell phones down. please hold your clapping till the end of the performance and keep your beach balls uninflated. Oh, well, you people, you really are stupid. See why you like Jinder in the WWE. It makes no sense to me. Oh, all you idiots that want to call me an indie mark. Why don't you just go jump a shark? Because you are a smark. And quite frankly, you have stupidity. That's there times infinity, because you're stupid. See, and Jinder Mahal, he ain't got no real fans, and anyone that thinks so too, you can just take this. Screw you. And quite frankly, anyone that thinks that Shinsuke sucks can just go eat a duck, because I'm like, what the fuck? And quite frankly, I said keep your beach balls uninflated, that you need to just shut up, and that all of you need to see that there's stupidity in the WWE. And then, hey, wait. You don't get to come out during my song. But seriously, that is truly how I feel about some of these idiots talking about SummerSlam and Jinder. I mean, Jinder sucks. Like tonight, they had the Singh brothers versus fucking Shinsuke Nakamura. When the Singh brothers came out with Jinder Mahal, you could hear a fucking pin drop in that entire arena. It was dead silent. I swear I heard a 2-year-old crying in the second row. I'm not even kidding you. No one gave 2 shits about Mahal tonight. But when Shinsuke came into that arena, the fucking roof came off of that place. All you could hear were people going, oh, and so forth, you know. I mean, that just shows you the difference between how much people give a shit about Mahal versus how much people give a shit about Shinsuke. And I'm sorry to burst your international bubble, WWE, but your core is here in North America. I am sorry. And if you piss off your core and your ratings go to shit here in the United States, bye-bye USA. So don't do it. End this experiment. End it quick. End it now. The Jinder experiment and the Jinder experience is a failure. This guy has had the title for 3 months. Doesn't know what the fuck to do with it. I mean, this guy just... He railroaded his way to the title by having a bunch of freaking steroids stuck up his ass. That is all he did. He didn't earn it, obviously, because when you're jobbing for 7 months and then you suddenly become WWE champ overnight, that obviously it's because, corporate's so impressed with how good you're taking care of yourself, Jinder. Oh, Jinder, you're big. You deserve a title. Yeah. You know, give me a fucking break. This guy does not know how to wrestle. And worse yet, you know, boy, him trying to show up Nakamura tonight did not end well for him at all. And honestly, the announcers sounded legit freaking worried about him when he got King Shasha'd in the head and just wasn't moving for, like, I would say a good 2 minutes. Like, I think he honestly had to be helped out of the ring during the commercial break after the stupid match they put Shinsuke in. Like, really? You're going to have Shinsuke fight again tonight against the Singh brothers? Like, who gives a shit about the Singh brothers? The Singh brothers, if anything, should be in the tag division. Like, the fuck? What, because they're fucking cruiserweights? You want to fucking pigeonhole them too? I mean, really. I'm about to just up and say that the cruiserweight thing is a failed experiment. And it's going to depend on how things go tonight. Because no, I did not watch 205 Live. I will probably say something about it tomorrow or Thursday when I come on with my next review. But I will say this, SmackDown tonight at least was better tonight than it's been in the last few months. Granted, a lot of that was because of hype from call-ups and wrestlers joining the roster. Outside of this, there were a few massive failures. There were a few failures, one of which was fucking massive, and I will get to that in a moment as well. Anyway, allow me to begin with the actual review of the show. So, the show starts off with, the show started off, with, AJ Styles came out to the ring. So, as you know, and AJ and the fans chant his name, and AJ welcomes us to SmackDown, the house that AJ Styles built. Haha. AJ says he is still your U.S. champion after defeating Kevin Owens at SummerSlam. AJ told the world that he is the workhorse of WWE. Fucking, you can bet your ass he's the workhorse of WWE. Sure the fuck isn't fucking Roman Reigns. Anyhow, and that nothing is going to change because he is reinstating the U.S. Open Challenge. And it starts right now. The music hits and out comes Kevin Owens. AJ says no, this isn't happening. He beat Owens at SummerSlam and they are done. Owens says AJ did not beat him. What happens is history repeated itself 20 years later as a McMahon screwed a Canadian out of a title once again. Which, that part, I have to laugh at that. I mean, way to go into the cookie jar and fucking talk about the Montreal screw job. Anyway, and for those that don't know, that's exactly what he's talking about. And the Montreal screw job was when, I believe it was Earl Hebner did that 3 count when, or actually, excuse me, it wasn't the 3 count. He said that Brett tapped out when Michaels had him in the sharpshooter at Survivor Series when it was in Canada. And I forget where in Canada exactly it was. I think it was, Montreal. But the fact of the matter is, is that the Montreal Screwjob, that was literally someone leaving their company and them not wanting to let them leave with the belt. This, however, was definitely different. Owens says AJ can't take credit for beating him because Shane McMahon screwed him. The music interrupts, and out comes SmackDown commissioner. Shane gives a shout out to Brooklyn. He can see Owens is visibly upset, but he did exactly what he said he would do, call the match right down the middle. And in the end, AJ won fair and square. Owens rants about what happened in the match, saying Shane physically assaulted him, and that's what led to AJ winning. Owens shows us footage from the match where Owens had a close 2 count, but AJ hits his foot on the bottom rope. Owens says Shane is focusing on the wrong body part. He should be focusing on his own hand hitting the mat 3 times. Owens goes on complaining, but Shane says the referee's decision stands. Shane says the better man won. Owens says the title is his and he wants his damn title. AJ tells them both to shut up, and the crowd just cheered him. And it was loud, too, I'll tell you that much. Owens asks if AJ dislikes the truth. AJ says he doesn't like a whiny bitch like Owens. Which, man, I am surprised they let him get away with that one. Yeah, so much for PG. But AJ says if Owens wants a match, he can have it tonight. Shane says it goes against his better judgment. But if AJ wants to defend the title, Owens has the match. Owens says that's not enough. He's been screwed by referees twice in the past few weeks. Owens wants to pick the referee for tonight. Shane disagrees, but AJ says let him. He will still lose. Shane says no more excuses after tonight for Owens. Shane's music hits as Owens and AJ argue. SmackDown General Manager Daniel Bryan is backstage on the phone. He says that they had a few big surprises planned. WWE Champion Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers enter. Daniel apparently called for Jinder to come to talk. Bryan says that Jinder can't win without the Singh brothers. Yay! Even the WWE is finally realizing this. Oh, I don't know, after 5 months of the same shit over and over and over again, even the WWE wants to finally admit this. Jinder calls Daniel xenophobic, and Daniel says Shinsuke Nakamura deserves another shot. But Jinder disagrees, because we all know Jinder's fucking opinion really matters. This leads to Bryan making Nakamura versus the Singh brothers for tonight, and they go to commercial. On to that point, why could you not have given Nakamura, I guess this is your night off Nakamura, apparently, because, Singh Brothers, it's not competition. So, it feels like, I don't know, because there were plenty of people to put Nakamura against. Was this a good call? Probably not. I mean, it didn't. In the end, that particular match did not entertain me, but it was nice to see, Mahal get King Sasha. That running knee right to his fucking head was probably the greatest thing that I have seen, that I saw just over the last few months in terms of Smackdown and Shinsuke Nakamura. It's really time. It is Nakamura's time. And there's another reason for that, and I'll say that. I will save that for a moment. Owens approaches Sami Zayn backstage. Owens says they've been fighting alongside or against one another for 15 years, and when it comes down to it, he needs someone he can trust to referee tonight, and Sami's the only one that fits. Sami talks about watching Owens' DVD and how it brought back their history. Sami says sometimes he forgot what they were fighting about. Owens says they shouldn't be fighting. Sami has done a lot since he came to SmackDown. Right. Yeah, Sami's done a lot. A lot of jobbing. Yeah, because that's all I've seen from Sami. I mean, and then, 50-50 booking with, this is the greatest. No. No, he has not done a lot of anything except working in fucking catering. Yeah, it's just ridiculous how they've treated Sami Zayn. And here's the thing, he didn't even have a fucking match tonight. Not a single one. I mean, I don't know where they're going with Sami Zayn. It feels to me like Sami Zayn is pretty much dead on arrival. I think Sami Zayn is one of those guys that needs to go back down to NXT. I mean, if you're not going to have a role for a guy, and then send him back to NXT. It's just like with Lana. We have not seen Lana, I think, in the ring since that tag team fiasco. I think it was a 6-woman tag team. And it seems like after that, they just decided she was too green. But it seems to me that with what they've been doing with her and Tamina, I get the feeling that she's back as being a manager. I mean, I don't understand what the whole Lana thing is or was about, but it obviously, that experiment lasted a lot shorter than, Jinder's, but I'm going to tell you, both are going to end in the same way, dead on arrival. Anyway, after that, we go to the ring, and Aiden English is out for a song, calling himself the baritone of the whatever, and doing that retarded shit. But then suddenly, the lights go out. And this could have meant any number of things, and any number of people could have come out. But it wasn't just anybody. Suddenly, the glorious music interrupts, and out comes Bobby Roode for his call-up from NXT. It is officially being called a call-up. So he is done with NXT, more than likely with the exception of his rematch, assuming he even wants one with McIntyre. My guess, he'll have the rematch in November. We won't even see him on NXT until November. And we're not going to see much of McIntyre, and then we'll just be seeing, it'll be all McIntyre probably over the fall until we get to Thanksgiving weekend. And then he'll lose in wherever they choose to have. I don't know where Survivor Series is off the top of my head, but it'll probably be the Weekend of Survivor Series that he's like officially, main roster. But he still has a little bit of unfinished business. Now, one other question I really have about this, and this is just my thing. If you're calling up Bobby Roode now, which I suppose now's as good a time as any, but I feel like there was a lot of unfinished business for Bobby Roode down at NXT. Like, number one, you got Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong was like, I want Bobby Roode. Give me Bobby Roode. I want to beat the shit out of Bobby Roode. And did we get it? I mean, I don't think we got it. So I feel a little jaded in that sense. Maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll see that. But, we as fans, I think, deserve better than unfinished storylines. You finish your business, then you fucking move up to the majors. You don't just fucking leapfrog shit like you're Jinder Mahal. Anyway, the crowd, but I am going to say this, though, for Bobby Roode. The only other person that this crowd was half alive for, other than Nakamura, was Bobby Roode. Oh, my goodness. When they heard the glorious music, I think the entire crowd was singing the glorious, music song just as he walked to the ring. I think WWE also needs to understand something too. People like Bobby Roode. Nobody really cares one way or the other if you're heel, if you're face. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you have a good persona and you're good in the ring. And the problem with most wrestlers is they don't have both. They may have one or none of the pieces needed to succeed. Bobby Roode has both. I think the only thing stopping Nakamura is most likely command of English. But outside of that, I think he has all the tools. He's got the charisma. He's got the character. He's got the ring skills. Regardless of what people thought of what happened with John Cena getting dropped on his head. Granted, that was sloppy, but shit happens in the ring. I mean, I don't think this guy would have been undefeated in NXT for a year before Samoa Joe showed up. I just feel that, these, people are going to cheer and boo who they want to cheer and boo. And while Bobby Roode may be a bad guy, I guarantee that, the hijacking of we're going to cheer and boo who we want to cheer and boo. And there's a difference between heel heat and get off my fucking television type of heat. So it's just, I think WWE is trying to, in certain ways, I don't think they care. And then in certain ways, I think they're trying to feel out the fans to figure out who they really like and who they just flat out dislike. And the signal was sent to is being sent to me that Aiden English, for as much talent and the little shticky, I'm a singer gimmick that he has. He is buried. I just, without Simon Gotch being there, without the Vaudevillains being a tag team, he's dead on arrival. I mean, he is just, he's not worth it. I mean, if I'm Aiden English and I'm being jobbed out, I think he's won 3 matches in the last, since the Vaudevillains were broken away 4 months ago. I think in 4 months he's won 3 matches. So I really think that, it's not looking good for him. If I'm Aiden English, I'm like, screw this. I'll go to Ring of Honor. I'll go to Global Force, whatever, because I'm tired of being buried. But yeah, Rude got a big pop, but English protests and runs his mouth. Rude attacks and sends English to the floor as fans continue cheering for the glorious one. And then back from the break, and English is working Rude over in the ring. Rude hits an inverted atomic drop and turns it off. Rude gets on and hits a blockbuster from the middle rope. English fights back and hits the director's cut for a close 2 count. Rude comes back and hits a spine buster, which, I'll tell you, that spine buster looked pretty nasty. So he is savage with his moves, and he obviously had some extra adrenaline running through him tonight. Then he took that spine buster and hit the glorious DDT for the win. Your winner, Bobby Roode. After the match, Rude celebrates as we go to the replay. Rude continues the celebration, and then Renee Young enters the ring to interview him. Rude congratulates Shane and Bryan on breaking the bank and cashing in on the hottest free agents in sports entertainment today. Where have I heard that line before? Rude says, if you didn't know, we're about to find out that everything he touches and does is big box office. Rude says in a New York Minute, SmackDown went from being great to absolutely glorious. Rude's music hits and fans cheer and the spotlight shines on him. Now, my friend and I that did the show on, Ivan and myself that did the show on Sunday, we predicted that Rude would most likely, since he lost on Saturday, he would probably show up on Raw or SmackDown. We were both thinking Raw for Rude, but when you think about it, Raw is so depleted in the margins of talent that they need a good reset. And this is a good reset. I mean, if Jinder fucking Mahal is your fucking champion and you suddenly have Bobby Roode walking in and then you have Jinder Mahal getting King Shasha by Shinsuke Nakamura, I am telling you right now, the Mahal experiment is pretty much over or it is nearing its final stage, because I will put money on this right now. By the end of the year, your Royal Rumble main event for the WWE title will be, and unless WWE wants to be fucking retarded and not do this, Royal Rumble, I can almost guarantee it will be Rude versus a rematch but this time it'll be for the WWE title between Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura. And then AJ wins the Royal Rumble, and you get Shinsuke versus AJ. That is how it needs to go down. That is how this needs to go down, and I'm beginning to see the pieces being put into place so that can happen. Now, did Nakamura need to job to Mahal? No. You could have easily made that a disqualification, and you didn't need to have him take a 3 count to Mahal. Hell, you didn't even need to have Baron Corbin take a 3 count to Mahal. You could have technically have had Baron Corbin lose his money in the bank by disqualification because John Cena decided to pop him in the mouth. But quite frankly, WWE was mad because he decided to talk back to Dave Meltzer. So I don't know what else to say. So anyway, still to come, AJ versus Owens with a mystery referee, and Nakamura versus the Singh brothers. Back from the commercial, and Daniel Bryan is backstage. Chad Gable walks in and asks if Bryan wanted to see him. Bryan mentions Jason Jordan's getting to go to Raw, and reveals that he made a deal with Raw general manager Kurt Angle. In exchange for Jason Jordan, Angle would help Bryan sign a friend of his. And then comes the pop. He introduces Chad Gable's new tag team partner, Shelton Benjamin. And fans just went apeshit at this point. And the energy in there for the 2 hours that SmackDown had, I mean, yes, I think the Hardys versus the Shield was a big thing. That was a great match. I'm not taking anything away from it. But the main event, it felt like The Miz was out of place there. It didn't feel like The Miz belonged in that caliber. And it didn't. I mean, Joe is the Destroyer. Freaking Roman Reigns, it's his yard. And then John Cena is the face of the fucking company, at least right now. So it's nice, though, that, I mean, in that sense, shit, there I go, losing track of what I was going to say. Essentially, the main event for Raw just didn't live up to the hype that I think the producers wanted it to have. I don't think that Kevin Dunn realized what he was doing. I think Miz was pissed, and rightfully so, that he didn't get what he wanted on Raw or during SummerSlam, and that he fought basically in front of nobody. And, but, that, you obviously know you're going to get jobbed out if you're going up against Cena. So I honestly don't think they rewarded The Miz with anything last night. Tonight, though, there was just a different feel. And it was not a promo-heavy show at all for SmackDown. Of course, SmackDown almost is never a promo-heavy show. And anything they do that is promo is very short, very succinct, very to the point, Whereas Raw sort of dangles the carrot for about 5 minutes until finally getting to the pop, which for some fans, that's just boring. And I'm going to be honest with you, WWE, you got 2.5 weeks left until football season. And this is the shit you're going to give us Monday night? Good luck beating Monday Night Football. Good luck. Anyway, Tuesday nights, though, I'm going to be honest right now. Tuesday nights, tonight was a good step forward for for SmackDown. Because the last few months of SmackDown have been ungodly unbearable. There have been a few pieces of brilliance here and there, but for the most part, it has been very, I don't want to watch it. I'd rather play video games or something. Nothing relevant is going to happen. It's SmackDown, I don't know what happened since June. But ever since Money in the Bank, just the entire direction and creative direction of SmackDown just changed. And it seemed like tonight, for at least one night, it went back to being the way it was right around WrestleMania. So, Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable's first match will be next week. Seems like we got a lot of next week, drops on yesterday and today. So it seems like next week is going to be a big deal. I don't know why. I'm thinking the reason why is football. Because next week, I believe, is the first week of football. So I'm not 100% sure. But it would not shock me if that ends up being the case. And I also believe, wholeheartedly that I don't think WWE thinks that they can win. You can't bring a knife to a gunfight. And with the way Raw has been overall this year, since the beginning of the year, you would be bringing a knife to a gunfight if you think you can bring any attention away from football. So I think that's a big reason why they got the Shield back together. Not the Shield, but Ambrose and Rollins. I think that's a big reason why the broken mannerisms were used on Monday night. I think that's a reason why a lot of things were done on Monday night. But I feel like this is or could be, a very, very big, time for SmackDown, because SmackDown's on Tuesdays. Tuesdays, there's not really anything on except for baseball. And really, for me anyway, I don't care that much about baseball unless my teams are doing good. And right now, the Giants and the A's suck donkey dick. So, I'll be honest with you, not really fucking happy with that. They're just not that. I'm not really happy about that, but I am happy about the way this SmackDown went. I'm happy that Shelton Benjamin got teamed up with Chad Gable, though I do think their U.S. division does need more spicing up. I'm glad that they're doubling down on the tag teams, at least on SmackDown, because SmackDown needs it bad. American Alpha technically is American Alpha again. I mean, I don't know if they're going to call themselves something different, but obviously Jason Jordan is doing his own thing. Let Shelton Benjamin be the next person in American Alpha, or call themselves something else. I mean, rebranding is such a big thing these days, so it is what it is. Anyway, Owens and Sam, as they come back, Owens and Sami Zayn are backstage again. Owens gives him a referee shirt, but Sami turns down the offer, saying he doesn't feel like being stabbed in the back again by him. So, yeah, he literally just hands him the shirt, said good luck, you know. Then you had the Hype Bros versus the Usos. We go to the ring, and out comes the Hype Bros. Back to a commercial, whoop-de-doo. Back from the break, out comes new Smackdown champions, the Usos, for the non-title match. Mojo and Jay start the match. The Usos take control of Mojo early on and tags in Jimmy Uso as Zack Ryder waits for the tag. Usos go for a slash in the corner after Mojo knocks the other brother off the apron. And Mojo moves out of the way and makes a tag to Ryder. Ryder tags in and unloads. Mojo gets taken out on the floor after running over Uso with a big shoulder. A bit of chaos erupts and Ryder gets decked off a distraction. Usos hit a quick super kick and pins Ryder for the win. I'll be honest though, Usos won, but I will be honest about this. It does seem like during that match there might have been a botch, and it looked like I don't remember if it was Jimmy or Jay, but I remember it was Mojo in the ring at the time. He jumped up and his face hit that steel turnbuckle, and you just heard it was like pong, sounded like a freaking baritone-esque freaking Undertaker gong. I mean, his face hit that really hard. I mean, and that is those guys are tough SOBs to take hits like that and then still just walk away like nothing happened. And then give a promo. After the match, the new champs stand tall as we get the replays. The Usos take the mic and say they have everything on lock. Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. And they sent a warning to every tag team in the locker room. It's not paranoia. It's the Usos. And then they gave a really nice one of those Uso promos. Like, it's not the hair standing on the back of your neck. It's not the goosebumps on your skin. It's, this and that. It's not paranoia. It's the Usos. I mean, I'm liking this ghetto-fied Usos. I really do. And I like them as heels. Because they make good heels. They are the most entertaining tag team probably to watch since the New Day, and they were probably one of the people that I didn't have a problem winning at SummerSlam, because I didn't want the New Day to win, and the New Day didn't need to win. And I will say this again and again and again. The New Day did not need to win the tag team titles. It didn't matter. It does not matter. They're not going to break up the New Day. It's not how that works when you're one of the company's biggest merchandising sellers. and when you're not getting thrown off of a tour bus. So anyway, next match was Nakamura versus the Singh brothers. We go to the ring and out comes Nakamura to a big pop. And this is what I meant, because when he came out, it was everybody going, oh. I mean, and I was talking to my mother at the time, and I'm like, you want to know why I'm so angry? Just listen to the entrances, or this guy's entrance and the way the fans react versus this guy's entrance and the way the fans react. And she was like, what, does one guy get booed and the other guy get cheered? And I'm like, no. If it was that simple, that would mean both guys were doing their jobs right. No. What happened was that, everyone just went off, when Nakamura came out. When the Singh brothers came out and they were like, and welcome your modern day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal. Yeah. No. After he came out, which I didn't quite understand, it was like nobody said anything. You could have heard a fucking cricket in the audience. Nobody cares about Jinder, and he's the WWE champ. At some point, WWE has got to understand that if you are not getting a reaction, that is a problem. I mean, in that business, there's a thing. A good reaction or a bad reaction is still a reaction. But if you're getting no reaction, that means you're not doing your job right. And you have to do your job right. And there's another saying that I personally feel is true. It is not, it should never, ever be the title that makes the man. It should be the man that makes the title. And here's the thing. The U.S. title, AJ and Kevin Owens made that a thing. That title, the last few men to hold that title have made that title. The man made the title. The WWE title, Randy Orton's run. Kind of a lukewarm run, but okay. And Jinder Mahal's run has just been shit. I would dare say that since March, this title has been dead on arrival. It has been absolutely meaningless to the WWE because corporate initiatives like, well, we need to push the Universal title because it's universal. It should be better than the world title. And we need to cancel Talking Smack because we're tired of Daniel Bryan talking shit about our Universal title. No. Give me a break. I mean, Kevin Dunn. And if you're watching this, Kevin Dunn, understand, I realize it takes you probably about 50 years to brush your teeth. But the fact of the matter is that WWE title holds so much prestige. And by pissing all over it the way you have this year, it is going to take you just another year at least to rebuild it back to its prestige. I am sorry, but the Universal title, once Brock Lesnar leaves, is not going to mean as much. And if any of these guys, whether it be Strowman or Joe or whatever, eventually you are going to have to give someone else that ball and let them run with it. My hope is that it will be, Braun Strowman. My guess, it probably won't be, at least not right away. I'm thinking that Braun Strowman is just getting his one-on-one with Lesnar that he would have gotten at Great Balls of Fire. That's all I truly think the No Mercy match is. It's just Strowman getting what Strowman was promised. He was never promised the Universal title, but he was sort of promised by creative a shot at Brock Lesnar. Now, getting back to Nakamura and the Singh brothers, Nakamura takes control of the match to start. And by the way, this match was not tag-in rules for 2-on-1. It was literally, the Bollywood boys or Singh brothers or whatever the fuck their name is, were both in the ring at once, and they were allowed to beat up on Nakamura. But anyway, Nakamura takes control to start, but they got to the corner and speak with Jinder. Nakamura ends up stacking them both in the corner and charging in with the knee. The Singh brothers finally get some offense in and beat Nakamura down after a distraction from Jinder. They double team Nakamura as fans chant for him. Nakamura finally breaks free and locks Samir Singh in an armbar for the win, which I'm going to be honest, that looked like a very sloppy armbar. I don't even think he had it fully locked in. I think part of the reason why was time, because I think they kind of rushed this a little bit. I think the other reason you didn't really fully have it locked in, from what I'd seen of it, was because if he had fully locked it in, I think he'd have probably broken him in half. I truly do. I think that Samir Singh is a twig boy, and that twig boy would have been snapped. After the match, Nakamura stands tall and celebrates until Jinder comes from behind and attacks him. Wow, big surprise. Nakamura recovers and hits a Kinshasa on Jinder to knock him out. Nakamura's music hits and as we go to replays. Now here's the thing. The Kinshasa that he hit him with, wow. And the commentators, I don't know if this was on purpose. I don't know if this was, again, kayfabe. I don't know if this was for real, but they sounded somewhat concerned for Mahal after that Kinshasa. I don't know, maybe, and rightfully so. He was pissed because he had to job out to fucking Mahal at the Barclays Center, in New York in front of like 40,000 people. So, yeah, I probably would have given him a piece of my mind too. So, anyway, Kevin Owens is backstage walking with the referee's shirt in hand. Tyler Breeze and Fandango walk up to him and tell him to freeze as they are the fashion police. They may be off duty this week, but they can still referee. Owens yells no and goes off on them. They leave in a hurry. And the funny part is, Tyler Breeze and Fandango, and they were like, they were like, oh, well, to be continued. And then Owens is like, no, just continue walking. That was one of the funnier fucking parts of the show. Because at this point, Tyler Breeze and Fandango, I mean, I'm glad we didn't get yet another Fashion Police episode this week. I'm kind of glad they started dialing back on that a little bit. I want to see them in the ring. I want to see them with the tag titles. I think the only one that deserves to take those tag titles off them right now are the Fashion Police. Period. I think that the day one-ish is good. I prefer the day one is H. But anyway, after that, there was a wait, and then a hand on on Owens' shoulder, and Corbin appears. Corbin says he will take the gig, but if Owens wins the title, he gets first dibs. Owens gives him the referee shirt, and Corbin says he better be a man of his word. Owens walks off. Next, the next match was Becky Lynch and Naomi versus Natalya and Carmella. Now, there's a little bit of a spoiler alert here, and I'm not even going to really go over this match because really not much happened. Basically, it was, for all intents and purposes, this was freaking Carmella standing in the corner and essentially Natalya trying to fight two women. And she ended up tapping out eventually after a back exploder and then into that arm breaker or that arm lock neck breaker that Naomi does. And then she tapped. Now, what bothers me about this is that they were in the Barclays Center. They were in New York. And I figured that, she was either going to cash in on Sunday. Carmella was going to cash in her Money in the Bank on Sunday and take it, or cash in tonight and take it. She did not cash in. Even after the shit getting beat out of Natalya and her coming out there saying, well, I could just let them both beat up on you and take the title and well, then why the hell didn't you? Illogical fucking booking from WWE. First of all, it just... And the other thing that's just annoying the fuck out of me is Ellsworth. Ellsworth just wants to come out there, talk shit, and then expect no ramifications of it. I would dare say that Ellsworth at this point is... I just block him out. Because Ellsworth is stupid. He's a waste of WWE payroll. Hey, there's a way you can get your pyrotechnics back. Fire Ellsworth. Hashtag fire Ellsworth. Freaking Ellsworthless, as Naomi would so put it. But personally, this match, to me, this was a dumpster fire. And this was an opportunity for them to bring more shock and awe into the match that ended up being the biggest letdown of the show. I mean, the show so far sort of had a pay-per-view-esque feel to it. Except for the Singh brothers versus Nakamura. I mean, that was no shit. You're not going to let the Singh brothers get one over on Nakamura. If they'd have done that, I think Nakamura would have handed him his fucking resignation right there and gone back to Japan. But I'll be honest with you, though. I think that we are looking at a women's division now that since Asuka, which is another injury that I want to talk to you about, she's probably out 6 to 8 weeks, which means probably the next 2 months she's going to be out. Obviously, Ember Moon didn't get it done, so she's still technically NXT, but again, she could move up with a title. The problem is that broken collarbone that she has, she was given an MRI and then an X-ray, and, it's 6 to 8 weeks. So maybe Asuka would have been on this program, maybe not. Maybe this was a patch job on something else that was supposed to happen, but I don't know. We will see what happens after that. I mean, I'm not going to bother reading about this match because to me this was just doofus on their part. Afterwards, we go backstage and Dasha Fuentes, another no-namer that I have never heard of, welcomes Dolph Ziggler back to SmackDown. She asks what we can expect from Dolph Ziggler. He says he's glad to be back and show what he can do as a backstage interviewer. Ziggler doesn't seem very thrilled. He was not very thrilled. He says he's been watching a lot of WWE TV while he's been gone and knows what it takes to be a star in WWE. He's going to start singing, playing guitar, maybe rap some, dance around like an idiot. And Ziggler continues with the sarcasm, low-key mocking other WWE superstars, saying these gimmicks are what it takes to be a star. And boy, the term "be a star" really got thrown around a lot there. I don't know if that was Ziggler, pulling a shoot promo on WWE about "be a star." I don't know if this was just Dolph Ziggler. He talked about playing guitar, glowing outfits, lasers, all these kind of gimmicks. And that's exactly what he's going to do next week. So therein, we've got at least 2-3 next weeks for Raw and SmackDown. But SmackDown especially, I think starting next week is going to end up being the bigger show again. And I honestly believe that through the fall, they know ratings are going to go down for Monday Night Raw. So why not make SmackDown your go-to during football season? It makes sense to me. Problem is that your flagship show is not going to be your flagship show anymore. Your flagship show should be SmackDown. Anyway, after that, Lana's backstage on the phone. She says she will see someone next week. Real common theme for this week's SmackDown is that everything's going to happen next week. Tamina Snuka walks in, and Lana says her ravishing journey to the title will begin next week. Tamina wants to know what is happening this week. Lana tells her to close her eyes and recall the feeling of being in a locker room full of people but still feeling alone. People talking behind her back because she's different, because she and Lana are different. Lana tells Tamina to take those feelings until the anger boils over. Now open your eyes. Lana says she sees the rage Tamina is now ready. Lana says they will now crush the competition as the ravishing reign of terror begins. They will not stop until Tamina becomes champion. Tamina, the most feared woman on Smackdown. Lana smiles and Tamina buys it. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I will buy it as soon as I actually see it. Lana, obviously, at this point, has been demoted to a manager. I mean, that is all she is a manager. I mean, this sloppy crap that I think we saw, and the fact that she got 3 title shots, that's again, that's back burner now. I mean, if they want to really make her a wrestler, then they need to put her in NXT. AJ is backstage waiting when Corbin appears. He says he made a deal with Owens unless AJ says he sees where he's going with this. AJ says when he retains tonight, there will be an open challenge every week, and that's how Corbin can get his shot. Corbin says he will see AJ out there. He walks off. Then the next thing was the main event of the night. It was the U.S. title match. We go to the ring, and out comes special referee Baron Corbin. And this is another thing I want to mention. And unfortunately, this is sort of how I feel about where Baron Corbin's career is headed right now. Corbin's has a new entrance theme, and they first used it at SummerSlam, which I actually didn't get to see because I took a bathroom break during Cena Corbin, at the beginning of Cena Corbin, because I knew exactly how that was going to end. And yet, this is another question I have. If John Cena is going to go to Monday Night Raw, what was the point of having him lose, having Cena win and go over Corbin? If Cena was just going to go to Raw anyway, why? What was the point of having Corbin lose? I mean, I don't get it. And at this point, this guy is obviously, just as I've said about many other things tonight, dead on arrival. And you may as well put Corbin in the exact same classroom as Tamina and Aiden English, because they are jobbers. Period. He may as well be tagging with the fucking Singh brothers. Anyway, of course, then again, if he was with the Singh brothers, he'd actually have the WWE title. I mean, when you're a guy like Baron Corbin and you have the talent like Baron Corbin, why? That's just my only question. Anyway, back from the break, and out comes Kevin Owens, WWE United States Champion. AJ Styles comes out next. Bell rings. Owens goes to the floor. AJ tells him to come on. Owens looks to come in and goes right to the back of the floor. Owens comes to the apron and makes his way in off a cheap shot. Owens works AJ over in the corner now. Owens with more offense. Fans chant for AJ. Owens runs the ropes, but AJ drop kicks him. Owens goes to the floor for a breather. AJ slingshots himself over the top onto the floor, nailing a forearm on Owens. AJ stands tall on the floor as Corbin looks on from the ring. We go to commercial. Back from the break, AJ nails a Pele kick, sends Owens to the floor. They go to the floor and Owens hits a fallaway slam into the barrier. Owens brings it back to the ring and covers for a 2 count. Owens keeps control and goes for another pin attempt. Styles finally drops Owens and his face and finally drops Owens and turns it around. More back and forth counters. AJ gets a calf crusher applied. Owens goes for the rope, but AJ pulls him back into the middle of the ring. Corbin tells AJ to break the hold because he claims Owens got to the rope. And what happened here was that he never actually clinched the rope. You do not break if you touch the rope. It's if you grasp the rope. At least the WWE rulebook states that anyway. But the fact of the matter is that he's claiming that he clinched the rope. He didn't really clinch the rope. So that's kind of where that came from. AJ and Corbin begin to argue. Owens comes back and knocks AJ into Corbin. Owens ends up rolling AJ up for a 2 count. And another as AJ argues with Corbin. They collide with clotheslines and both go down. Shane McMahon runs to ringside and yells at Corbin for the fast counts. Because there were 2 fast counts right after Corbin. Right after AJ started yelling at Corbin about whether or not, Owens had hold of the ring. All of a sudden, when he was rolling up AJ, it was like, 1, 2. It was like, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then Shane, that's why Shane came out. Shane warns Corbin that he's watching everything. Owens hits a low blow on AJ while Corbin is yelling at Shane, which in all fairness to Corbin, he didn't see it and he was the ref. So, yeah, you can't sit there and distract the ref, otherwise shit like that's going to happen. So, Shane, just put your thinking cap on there. Shane did see it. Shane ejects Corbin from the ring and says that the match is done. Owens crawls over to the ropes and watches the argument. Corbin takes the referee's shirt and throws it at Shane. Owens comes to the floor and he's not happy. Shane puts the shirt on. Owens begins to argue with Shane. Shane rolls into the ring and starts counting. Owens returns to the ring, but AJ drops him over the top rope. AJ springboards in from the apron and hits the phenomenal forearm for the pin and the win. After the match, AJ stands tall with the title. As they go to replay, AJ poses in the corner. Owens looks on from the ramp and Shane stares back at him. Smackdown goes off the air with AJ clutching the title and Owens looks on. Now, it looks to me that in all honesty, that what we're looking at, it looks interesting to me because obviously they're going to be bringing back the U.S. Open Challenge probably next week. And I don't know, maybe we see Ty Dillinger. I mean, I don't. Because one of the things that was stated was that if AJ wins the title, then as long as AJ wins, Owens doesn't get another shot at it. So the whole Face of America thing is definitely done with. I think that we're headed towards a more proactive, I think, eventuality with Kevin Owens. But for now, I have a feeling Owens is going to be on the back burner. I could see Owens and Corbin probably feuding, which could be an interesting feud. But whatever is going to happen at this point with the U.S. title. In all honesty here, I mean, SmackDown was obviously better than Raw. In so many different ways, shapes, and forms. We got 0 call-ups on Raw. We basically had 2 on SmackDown. So, I don't know. Maybe this is Road Dogg just finally realizing, hey, I can't run a shit show and still have it get ratings. So maybe I need to give people a reason to watch the show next week. Well, that is all for today. I will have the results for 205 Live and who won the Cruiserweight title tomorrow or Thursday. I may give myself a day off tomorrow, but I'll be looking at that. I'll be looking to see how Adam Cole, baby, ends up with NXT on Wednesday, because that should be a hell of a show too. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how NXT goes. So I'll definitely have something on that on either Wednesday or Thursday. But it depends on what happens on Wednesday for NXT. For now, I'm Gary Maloney here for Sacktown Slam, and for everybody out there, I am out.